Hi, pet lovers. Thanks for joining Gina's Grooming channel. Thank you for joining us on our very first episode of our grooming vlog. This vlog is going to be designed to talk to you about subjects about the grooming industry, some of the questions that you might have as an aspiring groomer or just a pet lover who's curious to see what the path is that a groomer needs to take to actually become a professional groomer. So this vlog is also going to be dealing with subjects that I've come up with in my career as a groomer and as a manager, and I'm going to go ahead and address some of the questions that some pet owners have to really set the expectations properly between a pet owner and a groomer. But if you guys are ready to go on this journey with us, we're going to start at the very beginning, which is how to become a groomer. How do you start when you've decided, okay, you know what, I want to change my career? How do you go ahead and make the move to jump into the grooming industry and start to groom? Because it is a fantastic industry, but it definitely has a few paths that you can take. So let's go ahead and start again at the very beginning and jump right in. So, okay, although there may be ways that I don't know, I know of three main ways to become a groomer. The first one is by apprenticeship. So we're going to talk about the details of that, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of every single one. But apprenticeship means that someone takes you under their wing, a groomer that already has an established clientele, and teaches you how to groom and goes through all of the different breeds and all of the different equipment and everything you need to know to become a professional groomer before you can go ahead and do it on your own. The second way that you can become a groomer is to go the corporate route. So usually our corporate pet stores have a program. They want to go ahead and build up groomers. So usually you have to start as a bather and then work your way up and go through a training program. And then you go ahead and learn how to become a groomer that way. And then the third way to become a groomer is to go to grooming school. So this is where you go ahead and you pay money and you go ahead and take the time to go and get a formal education on grooming. And that is going to teach you basically all the things that you need to know before you go out into the world of grooming. So those are the three main ways that you become a groomer in this day and age, at least in the United States and what I have seen. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the pros and cons of each one. So let's take apprenticeship. Apprenticeship is probably the most common way that I have seen groomers learn how to groom in the United States in the current time frame right now. Apprenticeship basically involves someone, again, with an established clientele, a trusted clientele, and they take you under their wing and teach you how to groom. Usually you start out doing the tasks of like a bather, learning how to cut nails, then you move on to doing sanitary trims, paw trims, things like that before you start doing pre-clips, and then you start going into the breed clips. So this does take a long time, and as an apprentice you get to learn how this particular individual who already has a clientele is doing things. So let's talk about the pros and cons of apprenticeship. So the pros obviously are that it's usually free, or you can actually get sometimes paid, so as a bather, to go ahead and learn how to groom. This does usually take a little bit of time because you're going to be going ahead working with someone and assisting them for a very long time. I have had apprentices that have taken a year and a half to go ahead and get through the point where they're confident, and I'm confident that they can go ahead and start doing their own dogs. Now, for a con for the apprenticeship is because it doesn't have a formal training component usually, you miss out on some of that background information that you might get from a grooming school in a corporate environment or an actual private grooming school. So that definitely is a con. The other con I want to talk about apprenticeship is, although you may be working with someone who is very well regarded, a very good groomer, something that they teach you might not necessarily be correct, and there's no check and balance. So you're only learning technically from one person. So what they say is the Bible truth in that situation. And I urge anyone who is doing an apprenticeship to reach out, take classes, talk to other groomers, talk to other master groomers, and learn other techniques that you might not know just from learning it from one person. Okay, let's talk about the second way, which is a corporate environment. So usually you start out as a bather in a corporate grooming environment. So this is usually a pet store that is large, that has a grooming component to it, a service area for your groomers. And what usually happens is you start off as a bather, usually at minimum wage. You do make tips as a bather. And then if you show that you're competent with the dogs, competent with handling, and have an interest in it, you can go ahead and request to be trained as a groomer. Now, for the corporate environments, they usually have more of a formal training method, and sometimes they even send you away to a local training school depending on what state you're in. So that's definitely a good way to go, and you get paid while you're learning how to groom, which is great. But one of the downsides that I do want to talk about in a corporate environment is that it's not for everybody. So a lot of the students, I was a national instructor in New Jersey. We had a satellite office in New Jersey, a campus there. A lot of the students that came in already had established a life. They had mortgages, they had kids, and so going to grooming school was a change of a career path, but they were already adulting to the max. So in order to go to a corporate environment, you have to start off in minimum wage again, and then kind of climb up that ladder. That might not be the right choice for people who are already established, people in their 30s and their 40s in different parts of their life. Definitely a great choice if you're just out of high school, and you want a career blossoming of a career. But if you are changing careers, going through the corporate route might not be the right choice for you, because I don't know if you can sustain minimum wage for the while that it takes to be able to go ahead and learn this skill. Okay, and the third and last option of how to become a groomer is grooming school. Now, what's great about grooming school is that it teaches you formally a lot of information that you wouldn't normally get from apprenticeship. So it's going to be talking about the history of dogs, coat types, how you deal with different types of behavioral issues, where we also learn about CPR. We also learn how to work in an environment with a lot of different people. So grooming school is a great option. Now, one of the cons to grooming school is obviously that it's a cost, and you don't get paid while you're going to grooming school. You're paying the school to teach you how to groom. But one of the pros are, and this is what I did, is right out of grooming school, I went ahead and opened a salon. Now, did I know everything I needed to know? Absolutely not. It's still a few years of working and getting your 10,000 hours to really master something that still comes into play after that. But I knew enough and had some formal education to be able to go ahead, open a salon pretty much day one, and start grooming and start making money right away, pretty much. So definitely a very good pro in terms of grooming school, that you can really go out on your own right after grooming school and start doing something with what you've learned. Well, all right, folks, I hope this gave you a little bit of insight into the very start of how to become a groomer. We're going to explore these subjects, and in this vlog, I'm also going to be telling and talking to you guys about some of the formal education subjects that were brought up in grooming school. So even if you're going through an apprenticeship now, come join the discussion, subscribe to our channel, click that bell icon to be notified when we have another episode on our vlog. We're going to be peppering these vlogs in with our grooming training videos, so be on the lookout for that. Again, if you click that bell icon, you'll be notified when that comes up. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up. We will see you next time. Thank you so much for your time.